Hi, welcome to San Francisco. I'm Captain David with Spinnaker Sailing School. Today we're going to take a look at outboard motors. So let's get started with the starting procedures. First thing we need to do is lower the outboard into the water. If you see my finger right here, there is a lever. I am going to flick that forward, releasing the motor, and then pushing it backwards into the water. This is our 2.5 horsepower motor. It's the one that you'll see first if you're part of our Learn to Sail class, and it's on the Andrews 21. So let's go over the starting procedures. First thing, let's start with the fuel. This is our fuel cap right here, and we're just going to open this up and take a look inside. The next thing we want to do is open up our fuel vent, which is located right here. Don't crack it just a little bit, open it the whole way. The next thing that we want to take a look at is make sure that we have our fuel line open. That is located on the side of the motor right here. Also, check your kill switch. This is our kill switch. If it is not clipped in, the engine's not going to start. So make sure that kill switch is plugged in. So let's move on to starting the outboard. Now keep in mind, if it has been cold at night or the engine hasn't been started in a while, you're probably going to want to pull the choke out. The choke is located right here. We're just going to pull that all the way out. Don't yank on it, it's plastic. Secondly, make sure your throttle is all the way to the right. That's idle speed. And now we're ready to start the engine. What we want to do here though is get in a good position with our body and make sure when we pull, our elbow is not going to be in the way and cause maybe some dental work for somebody else. So let's get a good body position. Now, if you're right-handed like me, let's get the right knee down, left knee up. This is going to provide good clearance. Also, there's a friction point on the starting coil. That's attached to a flywheel. We don't want to pull up or down or sideways. Just like your lawnmower, we want a nice, smooth pull. Choke is out. Throttle is all the way over. Let's give her a pull. Now you hear a high RPM. That's because the choke is out. You also hear the RPM start to settle down. As that drops, we can now push the choke in. It's idling very nicely. We can give a small turn of the throttle. You hear the increase in RPMs. Idling nicely. Sounds great. Now before we leave the dock or even untie the lines, let's make sure our gears are working. I'm going to take it and put it in the forward. Terrific. Back to neutral. And the last thing we want to check is the discharge on the back of the motor. This is part of the cooling system. You can see that we had a nice, strong flow. Sometimes that'll be broken up. If so, you should have something that you can put in the discharge hole, such as a paper clip. That'll break up whatever crystallized salt water's in there, and then you should return to a good flow. That's pretty much it for this motor. Sounds great. We're ready to go. And by the way, do this before you start rigging your boat. Nothing worse than realizing you have an outboard problem and now you got to put the boat to bed. Excellent. We've covered the starting procedure and you guys have gone out sailing. But now that we're back at the dock, let's put the engine to bed. Let's start with closing everything down. Shut your fuel valve. Make sure your fuel line is closed. Bring the handle up and just pull on the back of the motor. That's all there is. No drips, no runs, no errors.